So let's come to our seated position towards the front of our chair. Establish the contact between the chair and the sit bones. Even the weight on the sit bones. Maybe rock side to side, shifting the weight left to right, right to left. Come back to center. And establish that strong connection between the chair and the sit bones. Establish the connection between the feet and the floor. And from the strength of these connections, lengthen the spine, open the front body, and direct the breath more deeply into the front body. And before we start to modify the breath, begin by just observing the breath. Evening out the flow of the breath, lengthening your exhale breath. And this morning, let's break our breath down into the three parts, expanding the belly, expanding the ribs, and then finally lifting the collarbones. So we'll place both hands on the belly and bring some gentle pressure to bear on the belly. Feel the fingers move and the hands move out as we inhale, and then move back towards the spine as we exhale. And you can use some gentle pressure with the hands to help that movement along. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Draw the belly back towards the spine. Now, wrap the fingers around the lower ribs. And now, as we inhale, use the intercostal muscles, those small muscles between the ribs, to expand the ribs into the pressure of the hands. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Two more times. Inhale. Exhale. Remember to keep the belly moving out as we inhale. And exhale. Now, the final part of the three-part breath is filling those, just taking the breath into the very top of the lungs at the end of the breath. So hook the fingertips over the collarbones. And let's begin. So start with the belly, the ribs, and lift the collarbones. And then exhale. Belly, ribs, collarbones. Two, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 5. So that lift of the collarbones is actually coming from the neck muscles. They're sort of lifting them up. Come back to seated. And now let's take 5 complete rounds of the breath, trying to incorporate the movement of the belly, the ribs, and the collarbones. So inhale. Exhale. Close the eyes to really concentrate. Turn your thoughts inwards. Concentrate on the movement. Inhale. Exhale. For 3, inhale. Exhale. 4. 4, and 5, and 5. Now, we'll do one more breath exercise before we move on to our practice. This time we're going to do that, again, our 3-part breath, but towards the end of the breath, see if you can just take a sip of breath. You feel that you fully inhaled, but maybe you can just add just a little bit more through that last sip of an inhale. So inhale, and then 2, 2, 3, and then sip. 3, 4, 4, and 5, and 5. And now just come back to a normal breath for about 3 more rounds. Now, remember, if you ever start to feel lightheaded during the breathing exercises, just come back to that normal breath, because the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the bloodstream may be getting a little out of balance. Take the arms down to the side, inhale the arms overhead, and draw the hands back to heart center. Press the palms and the fingertips into each other. And try to press hard enough into the hands to feel the shoulder blades move slightly away from the spine. Let's release the hands again. Inhale the arms overhead. Draw the hands back through heart center. And final time, inhale up. And draw the hands back to heart center. Take the arms straight out in front of you. And move the shoulder blades in towards the spine, drawing the hands back towards the body. And then let the shoulder blades slide off to the side and reach the hands forward. Draw the hands back in towards the spine and reach forward. And final time, draw the hands back and reach forward. Take the arms straight out to the side. And if you notice the shoulders starting to shrug up, draw the tips of the shoulder blades down towards the waist and open the thumbs towards the wall behind you. Turn the palms down. Let's bring the right arm across the body, hook the left arm around it, and stretch the fingertips out. And again, stretch into the shoulder muscles, the deltoids, all those muscles around the shoulders. Release the right hand, extend the left hand, hook the right hand around it, and again, and try to keep that right or left shoulder sliding down the back as you draw it across the body. Release and bring it back to center. Let's find our straps. So taking your strap or a tie, anything, whatever works for you. And before we start to do this work, come back and just check in with that stacking of the spine. The weight evenly on the right and left sit bone. The spine stacked over the sacrum. The head stacked over the spine. Stretch the arms out. Try and align the center knuckle of the hands with the bones of the forearm and raise the arms overhead. Exhale, release. Let's come up again for 2. And 2. And don't just work to the point where you start to run into resistance. Don't work to, let's not go to a point of discomfort or extreme discomfort. 3, 4, 4, and 5. And try and pull that strap apart with the hands. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back, trying to flatten the shoulder blades on the back. And now pull on the right hand, pulling that right hand down towards the floor, and avoid the temptation to let the body round forward. Try and keep that left shoulder pivoting back. Inhale, come back through center and go towards the left side. Keeping that left or right shoulder drawing back and the spine stacked. Inhale, come back to center. Now use the strength of the lower belly to twist the body towards the right side. Inhale through center and twist left. Through center, twist right. Through center and twist left. Maybe give yourself a little more room, and if it's available to you, take the strap behind the body. Notice that stretch, at least for me, that stretch is very strong in the upper chest. And flip back over, and let's set the strap aside for the moment. Take the hands onto the thighs. And combining our breathing movements with that cat-cow move, inhale, lift the sternum towards the ceiling. Think of having a string tied in there, connecting up to that sky hook, and then gently round the spine towards the back of the chair. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round forward for 2. Inhale up for 2 or 3. Rolling back. And we're moving fairly slowly here. Try and feel each of the vertebrae articulating over its neighbor for 4, 4, and 5, and 5. Inhale, come back to our seated mountain pose. Stack the spine, align the head, drop the chin just slightly, and take a full breath in and sigh it out through the mouth. Let's place the hands just on the lower ribs, again, like we did when we were breathing. Place the hand, wrap the fingertips around the lower ribs, even the weight on the right and left sit bone, and shift the ribs towards the right and the left. The right, left, right for 3, left. So not rocking. We're articulating the lumbar spine here, side to side. 4, 4, and 5, and 5. Come back to center. Take the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, and let's begin to twist the body towards the right. Bring the heel of the right hand in as close to the sacrum as you can. And actually, that right arm becomes a second spine to help us keep the spine aligned as we rotate each vertebrae around and into that twist. And again, bringing the attention to the core muscles and using those core muscles as the main effort to take us into the twist, with the hands being fairly neutral and the head actually being neutral as well. Inhale here, exhale, come through center. That right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh. The heel of the left hand comes in towards the base of the sacrum, and we'll twist now towards the left side. Inhale, come back through center. Let's find the blocks. Place the blocks outside the ankles. Let's take the thumbs into the hip crease and press the thumbs firmly into the crease of the hip. So we're taking the thumb right into this area right here. Sit towards the front of our chair. And you should be able to actually notice the top of the quads here. Lengthen the spine by pressing into that crease of the hips and fold forward over the thumbs. Using that, actually, we're making that mid-body sort of like a hinge. We can release the hands onto the blocks now. And once again, we're going to do that breath work. We're going to do now the 3-part breath with the resistance of the thighs into the ribs, acting to take the breath more into the back body. So inhale into the belly, the ribs, and the upper lungs. Exhale, release. Inhale for 2. Exhale for 2. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3. And let the next inhale, or before we inhale up, if it's available to you, reach the hands around behind the thighs, grasp the opposite arm, and squeeze the upper body into the thighs. Again, breathe into this. It's going to be much more resistance now. And take one more breath here. And let the next breath carry you all the way up. The hands meet overhead and draw the hands back to heart center. Interlace the fingers. Place them around the right shin. Draw the right shin in towards the body. And hug it in. Flex and point the toes of the right foot. Circle the right foot in one direction and circle in the opposite direction. Let's release the right ankle onto the left thigh and take that left hand and see if you can interlace the fingers in between the toes of the right foot. Fingers are interlaced, and we'll give the foot a little movement here. Now, take both hands and just give the bottom of that right foot a bit of a gentle massage. You can pull on each of the toes. And now just grasp the knee and the heel, lengthen the spine, and let all the muscles around the right hip relax as much as you can with the toes flexed in towards the shin. Let's release the right foot onto the floor. Interlace the fingers in the non-dominant interlace and draw the left knee in towards the left shoulder. Flex and point the toes. Circle and circle. Release the right ankle or left ankle onto the right thigh. And just let all the muscles around that right hip joint relax. And then if we can, interlace the fingers between the toes of the left foot. Work that foot a little bit, loosen it up, and then massage the base of the foot. And then heel and knee, lengthen the spine, relax the right hip, or left hip, sorry, relax the left hip. Let's release the left foot onto the floor. position the feet. You can move the feet slightly back from the knees, or the heels being below the knees. Curl the toes on the right foot in and draw the heel forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then dig the toes of the foot into the floor and shove the heel back. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once again, we'll inch the right foot forward by using the toes to pull the heel forward. Lengthen the toes, curl them in, and pull it forward for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And dig them in and shove back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, come to the left foot. Curl the toes and use the toes to pull the heel forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then dig in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once more, pull forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And dig in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now take the heels slightly behind the knees, and we're going to come into chair pose. So if you're working without the chair, you can just do the chair pose just from standing. You come down into it from standing. Or if you're on the chair, stretch the arms out in front, lean the body slightly forward, and we'll bring our feet together and come up into chair for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And come back towards our chair. Now, let's try this one more time. So, chair, I can actually see everybody's shoulders here. So it's a pose where I can actually see what you're doing. And notice everybody's trying to reach forward like that. So hunching up. Let's draw those shoulders back. Remember that extra work we did at the start of the class where we drew our shoulder blades in towards the spine. So we're reaching forward with our fingertips, but those shoulder blades are coming back in towards the spine. And now let's lift the seat away from the chair. Much better, much better. Keep drawing those shoulder blades down the back. Keep breathing here, no holding breath. And exhale, come back down onto the chair. Let's just come to center here on our chair. And let's take the legs, about mat width apart. Let's just take the hands onto the thighs, and we'll do another couple of cat-cow moves here. So inhale, lift the sternum, and exhale, round back towards the chair for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back to the neutral spine. Now our feet, we're just into a gentle V, not the widest. Now lift up the right heel, return the right heel to the mat, lift the left heel. So right, left, right, left, right, and now both heels. Let's bring the hands up to cactus position. Inhale here and exhale the right elbow onto the right knee and stretch the left hand up towards the ceiling. You can look straight ahead or look up towards the thumb. Inhale, come back up to center. And now let's take the left elbow to the left knee. Breathing here, and remember, we're using the muscles of the core, the belly, to move us around into that twist. But we're also breathing into those muscles as we work them to draw us into the twist. Inhale, come back up to center, and let's return the heels onto the floor. Stretch the right leg out towards the side. Let's inhale here, and let's turn the body by bringing the right hand inside the right thigh and let that hand slide down. You might have your block there and come to rest on the block, and we'll twist towards the right or left side. And again, concentrating on the core muscles to move us into the twist rather than pressing it or using the strength of the arms and the leverage of the head to deepen the twist. Let's inhale, come back up, draw the right leg in, extend the left leg out. Left hand comes inside the left leg. And again, think of wrapping those muscles of the mid body all the way around, bend sideways, come onto the block, and stretch up towards the ceiling as we now twist left. We twist towards the right. Inhale, come back up to center, draw the leg in, hands come to cactus, and think of our cactus pose. Think of bringing those shoulder blades together on the back and sliding the point of the shoulder blades down towards the waist. Let's release the hands down here. Take a nice big inhale here. And exhale through the mouth. Let's now shift the body. Let's turn sideways on the chair. Support the chair side thigh on the chair. And perhaps this outside leg can come free of the chair to allow you a little bit more range of motion as we bring the knee of the outside leg down as close to directly below the hip as we can. Now, just place the hand on the hip and just do a little bit of gentle rotation here of the pelvis. And try and bring the pelvis sort of level on the right and left side. Stretch the foot down. We'll begin on with the toes curled under, press into the toes to press out or to stretch out the bottom of the feet. And now we'll turn the toes over and come on to the tops of the toes to stretch out the top of the foot. Lift that outside arm, lift the inside arm, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Now bend the outside arm and bring the outside elbow across to the chair side knee or thigh and twist in towards your chair. You can use the back of the chair or extend that arm out. Inhale, come back to center. Come off the top of the foot and stretch that outside leg as far back as you can. Again, you can stay you can keep the knee down below, or if both of those moves are too much for you, just bring the leg out to the side. So stretch that leg all the way back, roll the hip down, and now feel that stretch in the hams or the quads along the front of the leg. To deepen the stretch, draw the pubic bone up towards the navel. Let's take that outside arm up. Remember, shoulder blades back and down. Bend the elbow, bring it across the chair side knee, and twist in towards the chair. Remember, it's going to take some extra effort here, but really take that breath into the belly and the lower ribs. One more breath. Let's inhale, come up, and release, draw that leg in, and let's flip over to the other side. So if you're finding that's causing too much strain to take the leg down or back, you can work with the leg just out towards the side in that same gentle V as we did earlier. So otherwise, take the leg down, take it in a straight line down. So we've got a line all the way down outside of the body. Curl the toes under, stretch out the bottom of the feet. Raise the arm up. Maybe one arm, maybe both arms, maybe no arms. Breathe here. And let's release. Flip that foot over. So now we're on the top of the foot. So we're stretching the foot in the other direction. You may feel a fairly strong stretch in the front of the ankle now. Lift, lift. And see if we can bring this outside elbow onto the inside thigh and twist towards our chair. Let's come out of the twist And now extend. Extend that outside leg. Try and extend it as fully as possible, working it towards straight. Maybe one arm comes up, maybe both arms come up. We bend that outside elbow and now twist towards our chair. Let's draw that outside leg in and come back to center. And just allow those legs to sway gently from side to side. So let's wrap up our practice, the active part of our practice, by coming up to standing. And we'll do our tree pose. So let's turn our chair sideways. Let's do our tree pose today on the block. So taking one or two blocks, just depends to make sure the whole foot is supported. Stand up on the block, level the pelvis, and keeping the chair side leg straight. Just lift and lower. Oh, flex the toes on the outside foot and lift and lower that outside foot for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come into our tree pose, so to the ankle, to the calf, or maybe even up onto the thigh. And remember, it's going to feel a little different with that extra height from the blocks, so be careful here. Come into our tree pose, perhaps open the branches of our tree. Draw the hands back to heart center. Release the knee. Just let that leg swing through the range of motion of the hip. So the pelvis is staying pretty stable here. We're just swinging the leg. Think of it as a pendulum. And let's step off the blocks. So switch the chair or turn around. Come on to the blocks. Flex the outside foot and articulate the sacrum to raise and lower that foot to the floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So bring foot to the ankle, the calf, or perhaps it's going to come up onto the thigh. Not on this side. Bring the hands to heart center. Perhaps open the branches of our tree to the sun. Looks like a little wind in our forest today. Draw the hands back to heart center. And just let that outside leg swing like a pendulum. So the movement coming in the hip joint. And step off. Let's just do a chair downward dog before we come down to seated. So face the back of the chair, back the feet away. Let's take the feet a little wider than, maybe out towards the edge of the mat. Bend the knees slightly. Stretch and lengthen the spine here. And in our chair down dog, let's just begin to let the body slow down a bit. Let's heel toe the feet back into center, walk in towards our chair. Take the chair back. And let's come back to seated. So coming to our seated mountain pose, breathing here. Let's interlace the fingers and draw that right knee in towards the right shoulder. Once again, we'll flex and point the toes. And let's find our strap. Take the strap around the right foot. And again, stack the spine and stretch out the back of that outstretched leg. And let's release the right foot onto the floor. Switch over to our left foot. And again, stretch out. Oh, actually, just before we do that, we're just going to hug that left knee in towards the body. Then release. And let's take the strap around the left foot. Release the left foot onto the floor. Walk the feet so the soles touch. Place the soles of the feet in together. And let the knees open out towards the side. Let's take the hands to the outside of the knees and draw the knees into center. Take the feet slightly wider than hip distance apart and let the knees roll in on one another for 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4. We'll stay. Just let them come to the side and twist towards the left. Inhale through center and twist in the opposite direction. Come back to center. And now let's slide back in the chair and take any of those necessary steps to prepare yourself for final relaxation. So you're going to be as comfortable as you can be. Sitting the seat back towards the base of the chair, but beginning now to relax the body. Relaxing the breath first. Breathing here. And as we relax the breath, feel any holding, any tension, any restrictiveness flow out of the body. Begin now to relax the body, relaxing the feet, the toes, the ankles, the legs. The hips. Let's spend a little extra time on relaxing the belly. Think of that first layer of muscles that goes up and down the front of the body. Let them relax. The obliques. Muscles we called upon to help us into that twist today. And finally, the transverse muscle layer, the muscles that go across the belly. Start at the top of the sacrum and feel relaxation. Move up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Through the lumbar spine, through the thoracic spine. Reaching the top of the thoracic spine. Feel the relaxation through the shoulders, through the trapezoid muscles, through all the muscles that support the shoulder blades, the shoulders. Come into the upper arms, the elbows, the lower arms, the wrists, the hands, and the fingers. Now direct that relaxation from the fingertips, through the fingers, the hands, the wrists, the arms, the elbows, the shoulders, and take it across the collarbones. First, from the right collarbone to the center, and then from the left collarbone to the center. Through the neck, through the cervical vertebrae, right up to the top where the vertebra, where the spine meets the skull. Relax all the small muscles of the skull. Come into the forehead. Start from the center of the forehead, move out to the temples. Come back through the eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, the nose, and then let the eyes sink deeply into their sockets. Relax the cheekbones. Move the jaw gently from side to side. Relax the muscles of the jaw. The lips, the tongue come to the chin and relax the throat. Allow the front body to open slightly as we relax. Feel the relaxation move to the heart, to the internal organs, and the belly. Feel the soft movement of the breath. Now let's begin to deepen the breath, bring movement back to the body. Slide back towards the front of our chair. Come to seated mountain. Scan the body, observe the changes. And relish these days of late summer. Bring the hands together at heart center. Thank ourselves for making time for today's practice. Thank each other for sharing our practice. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through the practice today. Namaste.